Hello, everybody. You've tuned in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm Sergeant Rich Myers with District 52 Public Information Office. And I have with me today is Jill Schmidt from District 52. She's the lead, number one dispatcher in the state of Indiana, right, Jill?
If you say so, Rich. That's by far not me saying that. Get me in a lot of trouble.
We're brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance, Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. And, of course, Tom Trial is our lead video audio guy here, putting us on YouTube. Tom, thank you again for coming down in the early morning hours and helping me out and getting us to look good here on YouTube. We appreciate you, all what you do, and your work with the YouTube. And hopefully we'll get some hits off this, Jill. We'll get this thing cranked up, and we've done audio long enough. We're going to get into video and doing them both now. But we wanted to talk to Jill today about one of the most important parts of the Indiana State Police and any law enforcement is the emergency dispatcher. They're the person that tells us where to go.
Yes, we do.
And they enjoy it.
Exactly.
I know a lot of times a dispatcher says, what's a saying that we used to have at Putnamville? You may know where you're at. God may know where you're at, but unless you tell me where you're at, I don't know where you're at. Exactly. Or something like that. Something about, let us know where you're at so you're safe out there. So a little background, Jill. How long have you been with the state police as a radio operator?
9 years. Actually, I started as a dispatcher, worked my way up to a supervisor, and now I'm the regional manager here for Region 5 out of Indianapolis.
So Region 5 covers?
Actually, two districts right now, Indianapolis, District 52, and Pendleton, District 51. So we take care of 15 counties and two districts in my center.
And that's pretty recent. Not too many years ago, we had Terre Haute, which they have since closed down and kind of combined Putnamville and Terre Haute and made it a lot bigger area for you guys to cover.
Yes.
That was kind of a learning curve, wasn't it?
It very much was. I mean, we closed Red Key and Connorsville also, which affected my region. And so we started actually growing in the amount of square footage, pretty much.
Right, yeah.
And counties that we had to take care of, and getting your dispatchers on that learning curve of learning these different areas. I mean, you could be on County Road 500 East and the 700 North, and it'd have to be, what county are you in?
Yeah.
Because each county has all of those. So it was a big learning curve for us.
And you know what was the biggest learning curve for me as a trooper out there? When I worked at Putnamville, we had three counties, Morgan, Henderson, and Putnam counties. And I could pretty much tell by radio voice who was out there talking. Mm-hmm. I can't do that. I can't do that anymore. There's so many people out there talking, and the numbers are so great. You've got to know and be aware of what your surroundings, and I know you guys do too. So what got Jill involved in being a communications officer?
I've been in it 16 years, and I started in Ohio. I worked for the Highway Patrol as a dispatcher for 5 years, and then I moved back to Indiana. And I've been with the state police 9 years, but I also worked for Lawrence Police Department before I came back to the state. So I feel it kind of makes me a little more well-rounded that I've actually was an actual 911 dispatcher for Lawrence Police Department, and then coming to the state. And I mean, I love the state police. To me, it's all about the pride that comes with telling people I work for the Indiana State Police. So it's a calling. That's the thing about dispatchers.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I mean, it's not a job, and that's something that we try to explain to people when you have people that are coming in and putting in applications. This isn't something you just want to try. Yeah. It sounds kind of cool. Can I try? I thought it'd be cool to try. That's really not what this is about. Dispatchers don't do it for pay. Yeah. They do it because we love what we do. We come to work every day, and our main job is making sure the troops go home safe. Yeah, that's our number one priority. And you when you leave, you have this feeling of satisfaction. When you get the help, that one person that calls in on 911 and they're lost or they need help and they're scared to death, and you stay on the phone with them and you get them that help. That feeling is just something you can't explain and you can't put into words.
And I know we're doing some hiring throughout the state. There's some different districts and posts that are hiring. So first off, let's get this out there and we'll review it again. But how does people find out about the job openings for a dispatcher for state police?
The best way is actually to keep checking the job bank. We have quite a few openings throughout the state. We have 6 regions throughout the state. And so if maybe you can't do one, like we have one in Bloomington, we have a regional center in Bloomington, Indianapolis, and some of the people live in between. And if you're willing to drive, keep looking for those and they'll be opening up. And that's one of the best ways. And the other way is also what you do for us when you put it on Facebook or you put it on Twitter and let them know, hey, this is coming up. These are the openings. And for people that really want to get into this career and I want to work for the state police, it's the best way to do it. But the job bank is the best way. And
our job bank, of course, can be found on our website. If you just Google or use any of your search engines, that's your favorite Indiana State Police. On the left-hand side is a link that says Career Opportunities, which actually has our sworn trooper positions and also the Indiana Job Bank, which brings up all the civilian vacancies that are around the state there. So let's talk a little bit about your job. What are the hours? What can people expect if they say, hey, I want to be an Indiana State Police dispatcher? How long are their hours? Where are they at? And is there a difference between dispatching at Versailles, Indiana and Indianapolis Post?
Wow. How do I hit that question? The first off, that if what we do for a living, our priorities, of course, pretty much are answering the phones. You talk on the phone, you talk on the radio, and those are our 2 major functions.
And a lot of time at the same time.
Exactly.
You're on the phone and the radio.
Very, very much so. And then we have a CAD system right now also that we integrated about 3 years ago. And so it's computer-aided dispatch is what CAD stands for. And that you're typing things into that. You're doing that at the same time. So you're on the phone with a caller that needs help, you're typing up the call card. In the meantime, then you're starting putting the dispatch out to start the trooper that direction and getting them going. And then if it's an injury crash that we're handling, so then you got to call the fire department and get EMS started also. So you got to be able to multitask. Multitasking is huge in what we do. And just being able to comprehend what's going on and being able to, say, okay, you have to think ahead. And that's the other part of it. Getting used to what do I need to get to do?
You have to anticipate what's going to happen.
Exactly. What does that trooper need? And a lot of times, we see there's a crash in the roadway, and so we need to start a wrecker.
Yeah.
This is what needs to happen. And I'm one of the lucky people at Indianapolis because I have what's called TMC, the Traffic Management Center, in my same room.
Yes.
With my operators. And they actually they have Hoosier helpers that are up in Lowell and down in Versailles. So they help us immensely. They can get cameras for us, and they're putting up more cameras around the state. They can show us what's going on. So if something's in the roadway, to get it out of the roadway so that, that person that's in the crash doesn't get hurt anymore, and the trooper when he gets there, so we can get out of the roadway so hopefully nobody else gets injured or hit, and so we can start a wrecker. We can anticipate that for them.
So, is there a difference between Indianapolis and Versailles?
There's a huge difference.
or Indianapolis and Putnamville?
I mean, if you ask me or anybody else, Indianapolis is the busiest post or busiest region in the state.
Yeah. I think
Lowell at times, and Lowell, trust me, Lowell, I'm totally sympathetic. I'm from the region originally, so I totally understand that. Yeah. And they get 80, 94 is a nightmare.
And when it snows... Of course, they know what to do with it, too. So.
Exactly. And, Lafayette, we end up closing 65 down constantly this past year, and we closed it down for a day and a couple times.
Do you find that sometimes you get people in there and they say, I'm overwhelmed. I can't handle this?
Yes, very much so. I remember the first day I started, even though it seems like eons ago now, and sitting behind the dispatcher that was doing everything, going, oh my God, can I call and get my job back? Because there's no way I'm going to be able to do all these things at one time. And that's the kind of thing when you start somebody in new that you want to go, just relax. Trust me. I promise. I can train you and teach you how to do this. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't freak out. Your first couple days, you're going to sit in here and go, what have I done?
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. And that's not what is. You can do it, and there have been people though throughout my career that cannot do it.
Right.
It's just not for them. Yeah. And you sit down and have that conversation of I don't really think and they kind of by that point they understand too that it's just not clicking.
Well, again, you've tuned into the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm Sergeant Rich Myers from District 52. We've got Jill Schmidt. What is your official title, Jill?
I'm a Regional Dispatch Center Manager.
There you go. There you have it. And with District 52, Region 5, Area Dispatch. And she is here to talk to us today about the dispatchers throughout the state of Indiana for Indiana State Police. You know what amazes me is I've been in the radio room before. We've got 911 calls going. There are phones. They're talking on the phone. They're answering the radio, and they're starting a wrecker, but yet they're able to talk to me and eat their dinner. They're sitting there eating their dinner.
Oh, happens constantly. We don't get to leave. I mean, I shouldn't say that. There's times they can if somebody wants to, but it's really funny because you'll see dispatchers that don't want to go. When we have enough people in the room where they actually can get up and leave the room and go eat and get out of the center, they don't want to. They will sit and eat at their console, while they're still talking on the phone and talking on the radio, and it's really interesting to watch the whole dynamic that happens in there because it's so much a part of them.
Right.
That
if there's somebody's interested in doing this, say I'm watching the show and maybe I'd like to be a part of it. Is there anything they can do to prepare themselves for this? I know part of it is you got to be able to type pretty quick, right?
Yes, we go through it. You have to take a typing test. You have to be able to type 30 words a minute. That is one of the prerequisites.
Okay.
Because next week I'll be doing we do testing and then interviewing, and then we have also a program that's called Critical on the laptops that we put people through that you have to score a certain percentage, and it's kind of like what we do. What I was talking about with CAD, that you have to be able to type and listen. It's a program that's done on the laptop and it gets graded, but you have to be able to type 30 words a minute. That's something that's very, very important.
And they also probably, I'm sure, have to almost triage everything. What's important here? Which way do I need to go? What's prioritized?
Exactly, and that's it's very interesting because that's actually one of the questions we talk about when we do interviews is, if you had a choice between there's a phone call ringing, you have a trooper hitting in on the radio, you have a post commander standing behind you trying to give you something or talk to you about something, how would you prioritize these? And the trooper is always the first priority. The radio is always the first priority. That makes me feel good.
I didn't know that. Did you know that, Tom? I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's great.
So, and because we train for worst case scenario,
right? Because
you never know, and you might not be able to tell me again what you need. And that's how we train people. So if you're on the phone and all of a sudden the radio keys up, and that's the part of our job that you don't know. It's the unknown. Every day you don't go in and work 9 to 5 and just know this. I know what my day's going to be. I mean, it could be a pursuit, and you could be having nothing going on. Then all of a sudden there's a pursuit or shots fired or SWAT call out, and that's just part of our life, and that's kind of why we do it too. It goes from mundane to hysterical. Exactly. I mean, and that quick. I mean, you snap your fingers and there it is. It's done. So again, I asked this a while ago. Maybe we didn't get to. What are you guys' hours? What's your shift? We work. Actually, we have a couple different shifts that we work. They're usually 8-hour shifts, and they're 5 on and 2 off. So you work 5 days in a row, and we have the same 2 days off. They're set days off, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then we have what's called an AWS. I have 3 AWS, which is alternative work schedules, also, and they actually are 10-hour shifts. Okay. So, but they only work 4 days a week, so they have 3 days off in a row, and they fill in kind of on weekends for everybody's regular days off. So it works out really well, and it helps some of the people that are single moms. I have quite a few. I have 5 single moms that work in my center, and it helps them immensely with childcare and being home for the kids and everything. Yeah. So, and they get to pick through shift draw, through seniority, which shift they get. So that's great. Well, if you have any more questions about the Indiana State Police dispatch or anywhere throughout the state of Indiana for dispatch, and you say you have some openings in Lowell? Lowell had actually, I think they opened one more opening up there last week. I'm not sure if it's closed yet, but I urge everybody to keep looking, especially throughout different parts of the state, that if there's a place that they want to go to, keep checking the job bank, and that's the best way to do it. Okay. Job descriptions, are those available on there? Or if yes. Yes, they are. Okay, yep. So they can see what is going to be required of them if they're interested in doing it. Right. And if they ever have any questions, feel free. I mean, they can call us. We can't really let them come sit with us because of IDACs and NCIC violations, but they can come in and we can sit down with them and I can explain if somebody has questions about it. And I have had people call me before and ask me, what does this job entail? What do you look for? What are some of the requirements? So.
Well, again, you've been listening to The Road Show, brought to you by the United States Police Alliance. We're down to our last 30 seconds. Jill, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Rich. It was great.
Appreciate it. Good to being here. And if you want to learn more, go to the United States Police Alliance website. Click on the career opportunities on the left, and it will bring up the job bank and the trooper applications and that if you want to go with the sworn side of it. Thanks for listening. We'll bring you here again next week. Make sure you buckle up. Keep those kids buckled up. Thanks. Bye-bye.